Let's go back a little bit in time and tell you why these mines are around. Back in the 1800s, early 1900s, little subsurface mines that supplied the energy needed for the industrial boom in this area. Obviously, when those mines were formed, that was well before any environmental regulations, any substantial knowledge on, okay, what do we do with the mines after we're done with them? So what happened was once they stopped producing or they found coal somewhere cheaper, they just dynamited it and let it go. So they basically just, these subsurface mines, they just sealed off the entrances in the mine shafts and then moved on. So there was no uniform way to abandon these to make sure that, environmental issues were properly addressed.
I am traveling close to home, where an acid mine drainage is found. It is an environmental problem all across our nation, wherever abandoned coal mines are found. This is a story about an environmental issue in Ohio and in Tuscarawas County. This is a map of abandoned coal mines in Ohio. As you can see, there are a lot of them. Any place where you have these abandoned coal mines and water, you have the potential for acid mine drainage. My story is about Huff Run in Mineral City.
We have all these legacy problems left over for us, especially in this area. We have surface mines, and what's left over from them are gob piles, which is just coal refuse. It's big mounds of coal that wasn't the quality coal they wanted. And when they did their coal mining, they dug up the soil and the dirt, all the ground above the coal, and just left these big piles of gob, also high walls that can be really dangerous. There's these big cliffs in the hill in the woods that people maybe don't expect, and they're on their four-wheelers, and they don't expect this big drop off to be coming. So gob piles are not only this unnatural hill in the middle of the woods, but they're also a source of acid mine drainage, because when it rains, the rain percolates into the coal, and there's a chemical reaction with the pyrite in the coal, and iron and manganese and aluminum leach out and cause acid mine drainage. And in Huff Run, it's really orange.
Wait, did you just say the water is orange? How orange is orange? I heard stories from Eric.
For example, I've heard stories down in southeast Ohio where if you go to school in some areas and you ask a kid to draw a river, they draw it orange or yellow because that's what they grew up with. So people just take it for granted that that's the way it is.
I don't want to take our water supply for granted, but if it's orange, that cannot be safe for our water supply.
There's no entries that you can just walk into. Back in the day, it was like a big highway. They got the donkeys in there, the mine carts, people going in there all the time. But we certainly don't have any open mine entries here.
We're finding a lot of these issues because the way these were designed back then, they were gravity fed to the local stream to keep the water out of the mine. So basically when they dynamite the shafts, the water's still going to flow out. It's not airtight, it's not watertight. And then the ferrous oxide, the precipitant that drops out, the yellow boy, basically covers potential habitat locations. So it fills in the nooks and crannies.
It also causes it to have a really low pH most of the time and high acidity, which isn't good. Fish need to live between a pH of 6 and 8. They're happiest in a neutral 7 pH. Huff Run is a headwater stream which goes into the Conotton Creek, which runs into the Tuscarawas River, and that goes in the Skingum River, and then Skingum goes into the Ohio, and the Ohio goes into Mississippi, and that goes to the ocean. And all of our polluted water eventually gets to the ocean. If you get enough of these coal mines running into a stream, it can kill the stream.
Start pressing people about it, start talking to people about it, get educated on the topic, and then hopefully start dealing with it instead of it being kind of the secret that everyone knows in the area.
Not only is it a problem of mine, but it's also a problem of ours.